Hey guys, Bowler back here with another video talking about some aesthetic changes that can buff and nerf certain characters. This time, not really limited to the stages and more about anything in the game, since a lot of you guys commented some really cool aesthetic changes that I had no idea about. I hadn't even planned to make a sequel for this, but you guys had so many cool things I didn't know that I had enough to make an actual video. And again, it's the same concept. I'll be talking about these minor aesthetic buffs and nerfs. They're nothing really huge that I think is ban-worthy, just cool niche things like how in Windy Hill Zone you can hide Snake's C4 in the grass, so nothing crazy broken, just things I think competitive players might want to know about, not really that much of an importance to casual players. First off is a follow-up to my last video with even more broken stuff with Greninja's Shadow Sneak. Normally, his side special puts this little shadow on the ground, letting you and your opponent know where you're going to land. And normally you can try and be stealthy with it, but on most stages it just does not work at all since it's very blatant. And although on Omega and Battlefield forms of Pictochat it's very hard to see it on, you can still slightly see it if you're looking closely. So I actually found an even better stage. On Omega and Battlefield Game Boy Dreamland, it's actually pretty much impossible to see Greninja's side special's shadow. Like, literally invisible. I'm not sure why exactly, since on the other 2D stages it's quite obvious, but for some reason on this 2D stage, the shadow just does not exist. The only way to even know he's doing his side special is to see him slightly walk when he starts the animation. It's pretty ridiculous, and you can even use this when recovering to surprise your opponent since they won't see the shadow on stage. Luckily, there's a small effect when you actually let go of the special button when he starts to teleport, so it's not completely broken, but even then it's pretty hard to see on the yellow background. So yeah, it's a pretty neat trick and definitely useful. But wait, there's more. If you thought we were done with this stage, then boy, were you wrong. So for those of you who already hate Ness PK fire spam, well, I have some bad news for you. Both Ness and Lucas have near invisible PK fires on this stage. They're essentially the same color as the background, making them basically an invisible fiery death ball when traveling through the air. This isn't so bad as you can still hear them when they throw it out and see their animation, and the clouds in the background can definitely help you distinguish it since it's not the same color as the clouds. So it's honestly nothing super broken or crazy, but it's definitely harder to react to and dodge it in the heat of a match, since you can't see it traveling towards you to time your recovery or get out of the way easily. And if you look super closely, you can definitely notice a slight color difference, but again, in the heat of a match, the move's pretty much impossible to see and you have to rely on the audio cue or just your overall knowledge of the timing. So I'd say it's more of an annoyance to fight against than anything else. This next one is something I saw a good amount of people commenting about on my last video, and I'm surprised I forgot to mention this, which is the light blue Ice Climber ult. Straight off the bat, it's pretty obvious why this one's an advantage. Yeah, making both Popo and Nana wear the exact same main color for their outfit is just sort of unfair. All of the other alternate colors make it very easy to distinguish Nana and Popo, but for some reason on this color they made the same outfit the exact same. The only differences are the boots and the gloves, which definitely do help distinguish them, but again in the middle of the match it's a little bit harder for making a split-second decision. And what's even more crazy is if you're like me and you always assume that Popo is the main one and Nana is the secondary one, you actually will mess up because in this skin, Popo is the secondary Ice Climber and the main one is Nana. So you have to be aware of that when you're fighting this alternate color. Overall, this one's a bit more of a nitpick than a serious concern, and it's just good to be aware of more than anything else. Alright, so next are a few smaller ones that I still thought were worth mentioning since you guys suggested them in the comments, and after testing, they're definitely noticeable. So here's some ones I found that were the most worth mentioning. First off is a nerf to Wii Fit players when they play on Pictochat. A lot of people were complaining that it's a lot more difficult to see Wii Fit's down special's white lines on this stage. Which yeah, I do agree, it is a lot harder to see. But this isn't really a big nerf in any way, since the window to get it correctly is pretty big, and it's generally, at least for me, feels more like a timing thing than a visual thing. And especially if you're a Wii Fit main, you should definitely not really need the visual that much, but nonetheless, yeah, you don't really get to see it very easily. Sticking to Pictochat, this next one is actually pretty cool. So Pac-Man's side special normally has these little cool white blocks that indicate the direction the side special is going, if you're going up, down, or even turning it around. But on Pictochat, it becomes way harder to even see them, so your opponent can't really tell what direction you're going in easily. This allows for some mix-ups, and you can definitely surprise your opponent with a turnaround when they won't expect it, since it blends in very well with the background. And quickly for these last two, personally, I think they're a bit of a stretch. I've never had any issues with them, and I don't consider them really any kind of benefit, but a lot of people in the comments insisted that Link's bomb blends in with Kalos League on the glass panes, and also that Game & Watch is hard to see on the black background stages. Honestly, I don't have any issues with these. The white outline on Game & Watch makes it very easy to keep track of them, at least for me. And while I guess the bomb sort of blends in with Kalos League, it's just not really that good of a camouflage, and you can definitely still keep track of it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I didn't even plan on making a sequel, but I was very intrigued by that PK Fire one and the Greninja thing, so I definitely wanted to share it with you guys as a follow-up, and decided to share all the suggestions you guys had in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do find anything else, definitely tell me in the comments, although I probably won't make another video, I'll likely just pin or heart it, and thank you guys so much for watching.